A timeline of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's relationship. Part 2. Depp began dating actress Amber Heard, with whom he had co-starred in The Rum Diary. The couple got engaged in 2014 and married in a private civil ceremony in February 2015 in Los Angeles. After just 15 months of marriage, Heard filed for divorce in May 23, 2016 and obtained a temporary restraining order against Depp. What went wrong? Part 2 is here to spill all the tea. In April 2015, Depp's wife Amber Heard breached Australia's biosecurity laws when she failed to declare her and Depp's two dogs to the customs when they flew to Queensland, where he was working on a film. Heard pleaded guilty to falsifying quarantine documents, stating that she had made a mistake due to sleep deprivation. She was placed on a $1,000 one-month good behavior bond for producing a false document. Heard and Depp also released a video in which they apologized for their behavior and urged people to adhere to the biosecurity laws. The Guardian called the case the highest-profile criminal quarantine case in Australian history. Heard filed for divorce in May 23, 2016 and obtained a temporary restraining order against Depp, alleging in her court declaration that he had been verbally and physically abusive throughout their relationship, usually while under the influence of drugs or alcohol. According to Amber Heard, Depp plunged into the depths of paranoia and violence after binging on drugs and alcohol during their relationship between 2013 to 2016. She alleged that on May 21, before filing for divorce, an incident had recently taken place in which Depp threw his phone at her, leaving her with a bruised face. However, a police spokesman told People that an investigation into the domestic incident radio call found that no crime had taken place. Depp denied these claims and alleged that she was attempting to secure a premature financial resolution. A settlement was reached in August 2016, and the divorce was finalized in January 2017. Heard dismissed the restraining order, and they issued a joint statement saying that their relationship was intensely passionate and at times volatile, but always bound by love. Neither party has made false accusations for financial gain. There was never any intent of physical or emotional harm. Depp paid Heard a settlement of $50,000 a month, US $7 million, which she pledged to donate to the ACLU and the Children's Hospital Los Angeles, CHLA. Depp and Heard's divorce was finalized a year after Heard filed. Heard kept the dogs that were at the center of the 2015 scandal. Meanwhile, Depp retained sole possession of all properties, including his private island in the Bahamas, as well as his collection of classic cars and motorcycles. A non-disparagement clause was inserted into the settlement that prevented either party from saying anything negative about the high-profile relationship and breakup. In 2018, Depp brought a libel lawsuit in the UK against news group Newspapers, NGN, publishers of The Sun, which had called him a wife-beater in an April 2018 article. The case had a highly publicized trial in July 2020, with both Depp and Heard testifying for several days. In addition to suing The Sun in 2018, Depp also sued Heard for defamation in Virginia, US in early 2019 over an op-ed she wrote about abusive relationships, which had been published by The Washington Post in December 2018. She did not mention Depp by name. In the op-ed, Heard wrote, "I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out." Depp sued Heard for $50 million for defamation over her Washington Post piece, claiming it cost him lucrative acting work. Depp alleged that Heard had been the abuser, that her allegations constituted a hoax against him, and that as a consequence, Disney had declined to cast him in future projects. The suit said that Heard is not a victim of domestic abuse, she is a perpetrator, and denied that Depp ever abused her. Instead, the suit said that Heard's allegations were part of an elaborate hoax to generate positive publicity for the actress. Depp's lawyers said, the op-ed depended on the central premise that Ms. Heard was a domestic abuse victim and that Mr. Depp perpetrated domestic violence against her. In a court filing that attempted to dismiss Depp's defamation suit, Heard detailed multiple instances of alleged abuse that she said occurred during their marriage and referred to him as the monster. Heard claimed that she still had scars on her arms and feet from an incident where Depp allegedly threw her through a ping-pong table and dragged her through broken glass. Heard was unsuccessful in her effort to get the lawsuit dismissed. Her $100 million countersuit case is ongoing in the U.S. In January 2020, phone recordings obtained by the Daily Mail were released in which Heard admitted to hitting Depp. Heard is heard saying, "I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you, it was not punching you." babe, you're not punched. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine, I did not hurt you, I did not punch you, I was hitting you. Meanwhile, Depp said in the recording, I left last night. Honestly, I swear to you because I just couldn't take the idea of more physicality, more physical abuse on each other. Because had we continued it, it would have gotten effing bad. And baby, I told you this once. I'm scared to death we are a effing crime scene right now, Depp continued. Heard replied, I can't promise you I won't get physical again. God, I effing sometimes get so mad I lose it. On July 7, 2020, Depp brought the publisher of The Sun to court for libel in the UK over a 2018 article that claimed he was violent against Heard. Depp denied all claims of abuse. Heard testified in that case, claiming at one point that Depp threatened to kill her many times. Ryder and Paradise both provided statements in Depp's defense. You remember Ryder and Paradise from part 1 of this video. Link in description if you haven't seen that. Anyways, back to their statements. Ryder wrote, the idea that he is an incredibly violent person is the farthest thing from the Johnny I knew and loved. I cannot wrap my head around these accusations. Meanwhile, Paradise wrote that Heard's accusations are nothing like the true Johnny I have known, and from my personal experience of many years, I can say he was never violent or abusive to me. The trial began in early July, and lasted 3 weeks. Depp alleged that Heard defecated in his bed and punched him, which Heard denies. Depp also accused Heard of having extramarital affairs with James Franco and Elon Musk, which Heard also denies. Heard, meanwhile, accused Depp of physically abusing her, and has also accused him of throwing a phone at her face, which she says left her bruised. Furthermore, Heard said that Depp threatened to kill her on several occasions. On November 2, 2020, the High Court of Justice ruled that 12 of the 14 incidents of violence claimed by Heard were substantially true. The court rejected Depp's claim of a hoax and accepted that the allegations Heard had made against Depp had damaged her career and activism. Following the ruling, a spokesman for The Sun said, The Sun has stood up and campaigned for the victims of domestic abuse for over 20 years. Domestic abuse victims must never be silenced, and we thank the judge for his careful consideration and thank Amber Heard for her courage in giving evidence to the court. In a statement seen by the BBC, Heard's lawyer in the US said, For those of us present for the London High Court trial, this decision and judgment are not a surprise. Very soon, we will be presenting even more voluminous evidence in the US. We are committed to obtaining justice for Amber Heard in the US court and defending Ms. Heard's right to free speech. Johnny Depp has strenuously denied all claims that he was violent towards Heard, and in a statement published shortly after the ruling, his lawyers said, This decision is as perverse as it is bewildering. Most troubling is the judge's reliance on the testimony of Amber Heard, and corresponding disregard of the mountain of counter-evidence from police officers, medical practitioners, her own former assistant, other unchallenged witnesses, and an array of documentary evidence which completely undermine the allegations, point by point. All of this was overlooked. The judgment is so flawed that it would be ridiculous for Mr. Depp not to appeal this decision. In the meantime, we hope that in contrast to this case, the ongoing libel proceedings in America are equitable, with both parties providing full disclosure rather than one side strategically cherry-picking what evidence can and cannot be relied upon. 4 days later, in a statement posted to his Instagram on November 6, 4 days after the conclusion to his libel case, he wrote in a typed letter, I wish to let you know that I have been asked to resign by Warner Brothers from my role as Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts, and I have respected and agreed to that request. He continued, finally, I wish to say this. The surreal judgment of the court in the UK will not change my fight to tell the truth, and I confirm that I plan to appeal. My resolve remains strong and I intend to prove that the allegations against me are false, Depp added. My life and career will not be defined by this moment in time. The third film in the Fantastic Beasts saga had already begun production, but in a statement published shortly after Depp's, Warner Brothers confirmed his departure to Variety, in a statement. We thank Johnny for his work on the films to date, the studio said. Despite being ousted from the film and only shooting one scene since filming started on September 20 in the UK, The Hollywood Reporter claims that Depp will still receive full compensation for the next installment. Per his pay-or-play contract, which states that he be fully compensated whether or not the film is made, and even if it is recast, Depp will receive an 8-figure sum for his work. Johnny Depp and his legal team had hoped to overturn the court's ruling with an appeal, but in a statement that was made public on November 25, Judge Nicole refused to grant Depp the permission to appeal against his judgment, saying, "I do not consider that the proposed grounds of appeal have a reasonable prospect of success." The judge also ordered Depp to make an initial payment of £630,000, $841,733, to News Group Newspapers, publisher of The Sun, to cover its legal fees. Depp still has until December 7 to apply for an appeal above Judge Nicole at the Court of Appeal. Depp's appeal to overturn the verdict was rejected by the Court of Appeal in March 2021. The Court of Appeal did not find the argument that the charity pledge influenced the outcome convincing, as the judge in the trial had reached their verdict by evaluating the evidence related to the 14 alleged incidents of violence. The issue of the donation was not part of it. But a comment made after the verdict had already been reached. The Court of Appeal judges denied Depp's application, saying the original hearing was full and fair and that the trial judge gave thorough reasons for his conclusions which have not been shown even arguably to be vitiated by any error of approach or mistake of law. Depp sought to appeal the verdict, with his lawyers accusing Heard of not following through on the charity pledge, and that the pledge had significantly influenced the judge's view of Heard. Depp's lawyer Andrew Caldecott QC told the court that Heard's claim about the donation was a calculated and manipulative lie that tipped the scales against Mr. Depp from the very beginning. In response, Heard's legal team stated that she had not donated the full amount yet due to the lawsuits against her by Depp. A representative for Heard said her camp was pleased but not surprised by the court's denial of Depp's application to appeal. The evidence presented in the UK case was overwhelming and undeniable, the rep told The Guardian. Heard countersued Depp in August 2020, alleging that he had coordinated a harassment campaign via Twitter and orchestrating online petitions in an effort to get her fired from Aquaman and L'Oreal. In October 2020, the judge in the case dismissed Depp's lawyer Adam Waldman after he leaked confidential information covered by a protective order to the media. Following the verdict in Depp's lawsuit against The Sun the next month, Heard's lawyers filed to have the defamation suit dismissed, but Judge Penny Carrate ruled against it because Heard had not been a defendant in the UK case. In August 2021, a New York judge ruled that the ACLU must disclose documents related to Heard's charity pledge to the organization. The defamation trial started in Fairfax County, Virginia on April 11, 2022. Part 3 will recap all the trials ever since.